All right, folks, welcome back to another round at CCN. This is not your mommy's radio station or TV station, it's your daddy's. Anyways, we're gonna bring you truth, fast and furious, in a beautiful way. Today, we're gonna bring up the love vibration on the planet. So I brought a little help because I can't do it all by myself because this is part of our transition. And I have Sister Chantelle, who's gonna be sharing the love across the planet with me. So she's gonna take this nice ride, and everybody can join with us and get in the seat, and we're going to just bring the consciousness shift up. Go figure. We're at CCN. This, like I say, this is nice that we actually have an alternative live stream media that is bringing the truth forward and enlightening our brothers and sisters on multiple levels across the planet. Anyways, I've brought Sister Chantelle in, and we're going to, in a little bit, a couple minutes, we'll show a nice 5-minute video on where she's coming from. And she's another light worker. She really gets it. She's wide awake, third eye not blind. So that's a good thing. Anyways, Chantelle, I know we've all been in this transitional shift on this planet. Everybody gets probably, for me, it was 3 years ago, as far as the heavy transition, the change of heart, the energies. And then here we are, it's 3 years later, and the whole planet's starting to wake up. It's a beautiful thing. So this is, but everybody, I think, went through their walk. They're bumping their head and having their issues. And then I think when you find your heart, everything starts to realign, all the energies, and then you get to focus on working on solutions instead of being binded up by conflict in the head, because that's what really binds most people up when they're fractured. Their hearts are not online, so they can't find their way back home. So this is what we're going to bring forward today, so we can help them realign their energies to bring their heart back online, because this is important, because this is part of the integral mind, body, spirit paradigm, and so many beautiful things are happening across the planet. I mean, I'm just I'm beside myself. Alternative energy and all these other things are coming online. But the heart is really coming online. That's the most important thing on the planet. I think if we don't restructure the ley lines, get the vibration right, everything will sort of fall apart. So I feel the alignment. So when did your transition start about?
Well, when I was little, I kind of always saw that we were all connected. I grew up in the South with a lot of racism, and I just never could wrap my mind around how we could judge somebody on skin color that they were born in. But when I was about 28, I'm 34 now, is when I really came full circle, where I came completely heart, soul connected and started, just diving into my own consciousness and exploring. But this last 2 years has been pretty, rapid and quick. I think everybody's kind of getting on that wave now. And so it's just exciting times.
What I'm seeing is just this week, I guess the blood moons and the energies are shifting in hyper velocity. That's what I call it. And I feel like I can see the DNA spiraling. I understand vortex. I understand how all this ties in energetically, i.e. through the numbers. Like I talk about the Fibonacci sequence. I talk about the Merkaba, and all these other things that most people don't look at, that they'd rather us not look at, to find our center, so to speak, to find who we are. They'd rather us give over consent on every level. And what I see is everybody's finding who they are, going into a little introspection, finding their quiet spot, going into a grounding, into their grounding mode as well. So amazing stuff happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's very empowering when you're, directly connected to your soul and your heart. And it's very freeing, and we just want everybody to experience this.
Yeah.
Wake up to it.
It's been one heck of a ride for me for the last 2 years. I mean, it's really been, like I say, hyper velocity. Everything, all the curtains are being pulled back at the speed of sound. The game that's been going on this planet to keep everybody enslaved is, I'd say, it's done. It is done.
No, I agree with you. But I think the first thing is for everybody to waken up from the illusion of separation before we can, really excel.
Yeah, well, home is where the heart is, and if, like I say, if we don't intersperse with our brothers and sisters into this right vibration, and like I said, I always go and try and find to do things on purpose to get contact with my planet, with people. And I always manage to find light workers, even in the land of the dead, on a regular basis, even here where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also I really think that we need to focus on our youth too, helping them awaken, because there's like a kind of a cancer going on in the society where our children are like on Instagram and Facebook taking provocative pictures, and it's just pushing them further away from finding themselves, because they'll post a picture and they'll want somebody to fill them up with outside attention.
Yeah.
And it's really destroying their emotional well-being. So we need to talk to our children about it too. And keep
Right. This is what happens with most people growing up. They look to others for validation. When we're supposed to be look in the mirror and look at yourself and love yourself enough to give yourself validation.
Yeah, our self-love is actually the foundation, I think. I feel so. And that's not always easy for everybody, because we've been through a lot in our lives and collected a lot of other people's garbage. So when you come into awareness of it, that's another thing, is being aware of what you're accepting and what you're giving out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm an excitable boy. I have these high energies, but at the same time, I'm getting much better at readjusting my energies and trying to stay in this love vibration. But I am a feisty little sucker. If you push the right button, you might get a little bit of Peter on you. Anyways, that might not come out right, but it's all right. Anyways, see, this is a spiritual walk on this planet, and that's what most people are devoid of. And they put themselves into the superficial world, the sea of illusion, I call it, where, like I say, everything you've been told is pretty much a lie. And until you wake up, it's part of the wake-up call. Like I say, everybody's third eye blind, but go figure. It's really the energetic shifting is here. Everything's coming online. I see all these beautiful spirits from across the planet coming together now.
Yes, it was very exciting. We also need people to take responsibility for themselves and their own, transformation, because we just blame it on everybody else. But it's.
We froze.
Paused.
Okay, now we're on froze. We were froze for a second. Now we're still froze. I guess they don't want me to bring the love vibration up today. Anyways, you're froze over here. It might be my computer. I don't know, because they are playing with Peter. They like what I bring. Anyways, I see your face. It's stuck.
Yeah, you're frozen too.
Oh, we're both frozen in time. That's all right. All right. There we go. We're back. There we go. We're back. Anyways, I lost my way. I lost my way for a second. Now these distractions, I lose my center for a second. Well, let's come back to center. Where were we at before we got frozen?
Maybe people just taking responsibility for their own, emotional well-being and looking inside themselves instead of just blaming everything on the outside. And we can't hear you now.
No, I'm here. How about now?
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, well, like I say, it's all about the mind, body, spirit. It all ties in. I looked at that. Everything is like a three-legged stool. And if you're missing one leg, it falls over, so you're out of balance, you're out of whack. So this is how I digest information. And so there's so many different portals to your self-actualizing and coming back online and finding your heart. It's a lot of work, but to do nothing and sit back and, just sort of, oh, geez. I saw a video last night, 17-minute with Dr. Caldwell. He put out a really nice video. And people have been rendered helpless by their own inability to look within themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it does take a brave heart to look at your shadows and then, bring them to light and work through them and embrace them and then release them, So, I mean, I guess not everybody's ready to do that either. So we have to kind of be compassionate with that. But it's also, you just want everybody just to do the work your soul work
Yep.
and get there. But so just by this network bringing attention, a lot of people don't even think to look within. They don't even have any kinds of recollection to even dive in with themselves. They just take everything that they've been told, conditioned as children, and just, like when we were kids in school, you were told, listen to the teacher.
Yep.
Respect the teacher and do whatever the teacher told you. So it kind of just puts your power down right away, immediately.
Well, let's cover that for a second. Look at all the portals they put the masses in from starting at birth, giving, like you say, starting in school, get in line, giving over your consent to the religiosity. I told you I was born Roman Catholic, and at 13, I challenged the status quo by asking the right questions, because I didn't understand how I would have to crawl into a box with some man who puts his pants on the same way as I do, and he's going to give me stuff. He's got some sort of power to give me absolution. How does that work?
Yeah, and you're taught to never question authority, which is ridiculous.
Yep.
So,
anyways, give me a second. I'm going to put my Skype in the stealth mode because it keeps blinking me and it drives me nuts. I forgot to put it in red line status, so give me a second. Do not disturb. Okay. I guess I might be a little disturbed. Anyways, so we have to transition through this, but like I say, over these years, there's a quickening. There's the pole shift a couple of years ago, and all the vibration. It's all about vibration, energy, and realigning with yourself, getting grounded. Do you do anything in the grounding area, or do you do any healings or anything like that?
Yeah, I usually just take time. I don't do any kind of long hour meditations. I try to kind of be, in a constant state of awareness, and I find that to be a meditative form for me. Like when my kids are screaming, I still try to be, and centered. So that's like my way of practicing it. It's more realistic for my lifestyle.
Right.
But I do go outside and, sit in the grass and ground myself, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. I try to every day. I just go straight. I put a towel down and go straight down there. They've taught us well to, everybody goes and lives in their back caves. They get behind their TVs. They don't get out and get vitamin D. They don't get out in the sun and play, opening up their energies, the releasing, because your body builds up toxins if you're just sitting still, so everybody's got to, like I say, so it is a mind, body, spirit parallel. When you start taking care of the machine, all of a sudden everything else starts coming online. And that's where I had to start 3 years ago, because I was sort of about 35 pounds heavier than this. But within 90 days, I redirected, restructured what I was putting into my machine, dropped the weight very, very quickly. And now I got more energy than I know to do it.
I could use some of that.
Yeah, no, I'll rub off. So, go ahead.
Let's see, what was I gonna say? Well, yeah, television, that's a huge, issue. It's in everybody's home. It's in my home, even. So it's a master manipulator. It's like Novocaine on our brains. It just, that's like gives people permission to not do their soul work, I think. It's just an easy way to just zone out and not just, let's basically give attention and energy to somebody else's life playing out on the screen.
Yep.
Instead of doing the work inside, I guess.
Yeah, that's another mind control hack. So folks, you got to change the channels. I'm not saying to get rid of your high def TV, but get the hell rid of cable, because there's nothing good on it that's going to change your paradigm anyways. Come to shows like this, and you've got all these other beautiful constructs to educate people on multiple levels, from the medical side. You got all these different great alternative news portals across the planet, like Activist Post. I listen a little bit of rents.com. In5D's doing some great work, Brother Greg over there. So you've got to change the channel so you can change the channel up here, because everybody's got this mind hack. And that's exactly what that idiot box is. It's actually a mind control machine, and it's got a patent on it. I posted that about 6 months ago to show the planet that, hey, get rid of your idiot box. But until you stop giving over your consent And as a matter of fact, Justin just posted a really nice link today. I'm gonna have to blast the hell out of it. It's talking about unconsenting. Ironically, I created a video 2 years ago called Unconsenting. If you don't like what the hell the king's doing at the buffet table, you can't be sitting there throwing meatballs at his head. You got to do a push away. So that's because that's part of the construct, the voting thing. That people think they got two sides of the coin. They're both the same. They're the same paradigm. And you've given over your power and consent. When you go into that realm, you've actually now been reduced to merely benefits and privileges under our corporate construct since 1871. Pretty crazy crap.
Yeah, definitely.
So what can we do to change the channel, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can give people all the knowledge in the world, but action is still necessary. You know, they have to walk through. So that, you know, is something to think about as well. How do we get people to want to apply their knowledge and come up to a better way of living?
Well, in everybody's life, this is what I'm seeing across the planet. Those that are in the comfort zone, they haven't been a speed bump in life, I call it yet, but they will become one. I promise. So something's going to happen in their wheelhouse. It's going to some sort of crisis is going to be brought up on their doorstep, and then they're going to have to say, I don't like this. This is really painful. What can I do to put out the pain? Well, that's going to be part of it, and that's what's happening across the planet. People get their wake-up call in different intervals. Some people don't have to go through the pain like what most of us do, but most will have to go through the pain because they've gotten comfortably numb. Go figure.
Yeah, it's not very comfortable when you come into the reality of knowing that, you know, all your preconceived ideas and notions of who you think you were, you know, in the past that you might have identified yourself as this or that, really fade away when you come into the, you know, the knowing of the connection of oneness.
Yeah.
And so that can be painful for people because they come into this state and then they don't really know who they are, and you're just kind of like free floating and shedding. It's like you're shedding skin and you're just leaving that, like a part of you is kind of dying away. You're
dying to your old self. I've been covering this for 2 years. It's that was like when I had my epiphany moment 2.5 years ago, when I was willing to throw the yoke off in its entirety, 100%, saying, you know what, I've got to be willing to walk away from it all to find out where the hell I'm at. And so it's dying to one's old self, and it is. It's, a matter of fact, a buddy of mine said, Peter, you're like a death counselor, because people go through the 5 stages in death, you know, and it's really exactly like that. You're dying to your old self to become renewed in your spirit and your heart and change the paradigm.
Yeah, you're coming into your authentic true self, and it can feel very uncomfortable and abnormal. And then not everybody around you understands, so you feel really just like alone. Nobody gets you, and so that's very challenging too. People think they're going crazy. They start getting, you know, the vibrations start to change in your body, and you hear frequencies, and it's just a really new time in humanity. So it's, you know, there's not like a book for everybody to read so they can go through it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my own, my family members from my immediate family, they're all dead. I went home for a visit. I hadn't seen them in 12 years. I vibrated at a little bit different level than the rest of the masses, and they were so uncomfortable after 4 days. I hadn't seen them in 12 years. They said, when are you leaving?
Yeah, that happens because when you're on a higher vibration, you tend to push other people's shadows out, or their, you know, you kind of challenge them to question their self. You know,
and I didn't pursue because I cover all this other stuff on the planet. I just went there and was me, but I wasn't broaching information to get them to change or anything like that. But my vibration is much higher. And I can see they're uncomfortable with what I do, because I showed them some of my videos, and Peter's way outside the box on all this. So
yes, I know. I basically had to come out of the spiritual closet myself because I do a lot of public postings to reach people. And so you know, my family was a little uncomfortable with it too, but they're adjusting because it's all heart centered. All we really are trying to do is, you know, get people to come into their own peace. And when you're in your own peace, I mean.
Just got froze again. It's all right. Yeah, we got frozen again, but we're good now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when you come into your center, you just really, I mean, you don't have any fear anymore.
Nope.
I feel like it just dissolves, and you just have such a love and understanding for everybody, and everybody's a reflection of yourself, and you can learn from each other. But I know it takes a little longer for some other people to get there, but when you get there, it's such a peaceful place to be. And when you keep going outside of yourself, it causes all this conflict inside, and it's just chaos. And then your life is distressed. So that's the ultimate goal, is just to help people achieve their own inner peace, really.
Yeah.
And then by them, I'm sorry, I'll just finish this. But by them, changing their own self and transforming, their own being, they're contributing to humanity's evolution at that point, because it's, each person changing is adding to the collective consciousness, shifting to a higher vibration.
Yeah. And I hate the word person, by the way.
So, yeah.
It's a legal construct. I never really use it because I know what it means, because it's in their law dictionaries. That's how they got everybody over to commerce land, to get them binded up on this plantation, which is a very important thing to take note of. Most people don't have a clue by interacting and using this verbiage. So I've changed my mind, because the words will sum you up. They'll know you by your words. So it's important that we start trying to integrate words that don't bind us up, so to speak. I'm not trying to be anal retentive about this, but I hate that word.
What, person?
Yeah, because it's a legal construct. It's in all 50 states. If you go do a lookup in the definition section, you never want to be a person.
Okay, well, I'll say an infinite being then.
Man or woman is good with me. It's like so. I don't even want to be a human, because human's color of man. Go figure. Hue,
Yeah.
H-U-E. So, anyways, I'm sort of literal, but I've learned I have to be literal, because these are the constructs that are binding up the masses for their paradigm shift, because they keep using and interspersing in that realm that keeps binding them up by using that terminology. We can change that. So, hey, I broached the issue just now. So guess what? A lot of people are going to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
And they can go look up the word person anytime they want. It's in all the constructs of this is how they bind us up. But anyways, we're learning how to come back home to be us, the man or the woman. And that's where I fit. That's what's comfortable for me. I'm not the first, middle, last. I'm me. I'm Peter. My friends call me Peter. I can live with that,
Yeah.
So, anyway, I know we have a 5-minute video that I'd like to segue into with Brother Biggie. So why don't you just give us a quick little synopsis before he presses the play button? And you put some really beautiful little short videos together, and you're nailing it to the cross, no pun intended.
No, thank you. I just tried to give some advice and some tips for people who are just now stepping through the veils of illusion, and just to give them some tips to kind of walk through it, basically, is what the video is about.
Yeah, it's ironic. Last night I was posting the hell out of this, the 9 veils instead of the 8 veils. Go figure. There was one more veil. I guess I missed a veil. That's all right. I don't miss them all. I found that one too. So that was really interesting that I was talking to you and I posted you the 8 veils, that 15-minute day. Hey, folks, if you really want to see what's going on, just go ahead and pull up on YouTube, Slavery and the 8 Veils. Just pull right up on YouTube. It'll come right up. And go watch that, and that'll rattle your brain a little bit about why 90% can't wake up. And it's actually more than that. But, some people get really mad at me when I post that. And I was actually being generous when I said 90%. It's going to be less than that. So, but you know what? Our star travelers, the ones that are here, they're ready. And, so, you know what? I can only just put it out, and the ones that are ready to see it, hear it, and feel it, and feel. Matter of fact, feeling is a very important thing. Most people don't know how to feel anymore.
Mm-hmm. And just like being vulnerable by opening your hearts to people, and just being, like very open and just like, I love you. It makes people so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, I share the love vibration with my feminine sisters across the planet. I have no problem. I'm not shy. Might make them a little nervous. It doesn't make me nervous. I'm being me. I'm being real. And if that bothers you, then that's your issue, not mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with Brother B, we got this 5-minute video. I guess I'd love to share with that, and I guess I'm waiting for Biggie. I don't know if he's.
Hello. I wanted to give you guys some information that may help you on your spiritual awakening. So, as we begin to step into a new state of consciousness, we're leaving the 3D reality and the limitations of it behind, and realizing that we are all direct reflections of God, and we are all interconnected to the cosmos, to the earth, to each other, to animals and plants, everything. And so when we come into this state, we really see life so differently. We see that we've all been sleeping and blindly following, and life has just been happening to us, and we have not been living our life. So it's very exciting when we begin to see and feel all this joy of what the truth is. And the truth is that we all have a direct connection to God, and we don't need to go outside of ourselves for it. We're born with everything we need inside of us, but so often we go outside of ourselves, which keeps us further off the path. And so I just wanted to give you a little advice about the emotions that are going to start to surface during this process. You're going to feel many emotions: joy, excitement, fear, sadness. Loneliness is a big one, because when you come into this space, not everybody around you is in the same place as you, and you want to share it, but it's not always received because they're not at the same place as you. So try to just be aware of that in advance, and be prepared to not always be embraced with what you're going through. Keep it for yourself. It's your journey. It's your beautiful experience, and just remember that, and try not to get angry about it, because people oftentimes want to hold on to their beliefs instead of finding their own truth. And once you step through, you're now on the journey to finding truth, and it's within yourself. It's not outside of yourself. So it's a pretty profound time. And also I want to say that there is no bad emotions. They're all a gift. There's always a lesson in every emotion if we are willing to listen and see them. And so as these emotions come in, if you can watch them, experience them, feel them, and then release them. Don't hold them into your being, because that's going to cause a lot of problems, and it's going to cause more resistance in your life. So, and also practicing the art of non-attachment. That is really freeing when you don't feel any attachments to material items, when I say people, I mean the fact that you're not putting your emotional well-being in the hands of somebody else. And also when you awaken, you are now fully responsible for your emotional state, because you're now aware of what the truths are, and you have the power to shift your thoughts into any direction you want. It's the same amount of energy to make yourself powerful, strong, enlightened, as it is to make yourself miserable and sad. So you really have to take responsibility for yourself at this point as well. And also enjoy it. I mean, it's a really cool time to be alive, because there's so many shifts going on energetically that a lot of us aren't even aware of. And when you get into this higher vibration of being, where you're leaving the lower emotions behind, such as like greed, fear, envy behind, you're setting up this platform for just a beautiful human experience. Your inner world is going to change, and your view on the outer world is going to change. And it's a great way to live your life when you can find your inner peace. So I just wanted to give you guys that. So be mindful of your emotions, embrace them and release them, and practice your awareness of your thoughts, the awareness of the energy you surround yourself with. it's just going to be a daily practice, but it's going to make you get through this with grace, hopefully. But so I hope you guys just take a little bit of that and it helps you in some way. And I wish you all many awakening moments on your journey.
All right, folks, and we're back. And Sister Chantelle did a beautiful job on, like I say, putting it into a way everybody could understand. I thought you did a really beautiful work on that. I've watched it like 5 times just so I could download, because I like to download information and hear where the heart is coming from. You have a beautiful heart, Chantelle. I love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too. You do too. Reflections.
Anyways, what possessed you to make you made like a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, and
well, I like almost like spirit's been guiding me to do it, and I'm just, because I'm kind of shy a little bit, so it took me a little time to get out of my comfort zone just to do them, because I work one-on-one with people, but I wanted to give the information to more at one time, so I just found it to be a great way just to deliver maybe some information that could assist them in their life in some way and get them on their journey. And so that's what it took me some time to do it, and I'm just now putting them out a little more often than I used to.
Well, feel free to make sure you post them over to me when they come online. I'll probably have you back, I'm sure, in the near future. I'm always looking to keep this love vibration up, because it's very, very important to me. I've really come to that realization. If I leave this part of the equation out, it's the biggest part of the equation. I've had Sister Golden Goddess Crystal on. She brings a love vibration and difference. She has this really beautiful voice. It affects every neuron in my brain. When I heard that voice, it's like, holy cow, who is this woman? And then I poked her in her PM box and I said, we need to talk. And this was last summer. And then she produces all her own videos. She does excellent work. She's really, and I've done 2 shows with her, and she's a part of bringing the love vibration up. But she's talking about the energies on the physicals as well a little bit. Maybe I'll do a show on Yoni one day. I'm not afraid of anything. Not the Yoni link. And a lot of people get uncomfortable because of the programming, because they've been lied to separate themselves from their own body. See, that's another disconnect. See, if you don't know who you are, if you can't get your grounding through your chakras and get your energies realigned, you're incomplete. See, I understand things about circuits because I worked in cable systems for 10 years, tying in the light. And I want to explain this for a second. So I was an energy worker. I was a light worker. I actually tied in the cable. They have this glass line that plugs into what's called the node amp. And all the information comes across that glass at the speed of light. Isn't it ironic that I did that for 10 years, rebuilding the backbones of major city systems across the country? So it's my fault we all have this internet.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting that you did that, actually.
Well,
but we really don't have any opportunity when we're born. We're, a birth certificate, we put on a race, a sex, a religion, so we're disconnected from our essential self immediately.
Right.
Upon birth. So, how do we change that?
No, I got the answer.
Okay.
I have the answer. I've been talking about the answer. I've had Brother Jonah and Curtis on the call, and they're posted over in the repository under Peter Eugene that actually explains a little bit about something about coming back home whole again. Because this is all black, dark, ecclesiastical black magic, and they got you sucked in the game. Let's just take a look at a concept for a second. I don't mean to go off on a rant, but to give people clarity about this birth certificate thing. First of all, you're born in a public hospital. So you're deposited into the system, and they create an estate off of your backside. Mama starts out with writing up the paperwork, the original, but she then gives the original away, which is you. They keep the DNA. They send it over to the Smithsonian, so they got you on file. They tap into the left heel of your foot, grab a little blood, put it on what's called a DNA Guthrie card, and there they got you right there. See, so there's the disconnect, and then they cut the umbilical cord. Have you ever heard of a lotus birth?
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's the way we used to do it. And isn't it ironic that they're making money off all the placentas and stuff like that? Because it's all considered abandoned property. So as Mama gave us over, then they give her this certificate back. It's called the birth certificate. It's actually the death certificate, believe it or not, because you're considered decedent from day one once she accepts that offer, because she gave over as the informant. Most people are unaware of this. I covered this over at my house. I have irrevocable proofs. I have a 4-page thing on the birth certificate that explains how you get put in a foreign citizen trust. Really simple, easy concepts to digest once you read it. But so anyways, so isn't it ironic? We start out the gate and we're deposited into the public venue. And what we're teaching now over where I am, or at my house, so I actually teach people how to go back into the private, and that's what we're working on. And I won't get into the authentication process and all this other stuff, but you come back home to your, how do you put, your real side, your private side, your man side, and they never expected us to figure this out. So the upside is there is a solution to everything. That's why this is called Solutions on the Planet. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing this deep digging for like 35 years, and I've uncovered it. And I'm a food digester on information. And what I do is I break stuff down in my head, and I find out how it fits. So the upside is it's a done deal. The cat's out the bag. It's already coming forward across the planet. Nobody has to be a bond slave, because that's exactly what we are. When Mama gave us over, we're actually a bond slave, and that's why. Then we get programmed by the schooling and all this other stuff. So we, along the way through the last 5 generations, we've all been left out of the loop, and nobody's lifted their head up to look around or to ask any questions. Nobody questions anything. Well, I've been questioning everything since day one. So, and that the irony is, the upside is we now are getting clarity on a whole different way, which it's you don't have to go to war. You don't have to fight. I call it pulling your punch card from the game. You got to play. How do you pull your energy from the system? You pull the oxygen out of the room when you do a push away or a walk away. But there's certain things you need to do to remove the presumptions to get you out from underneath that construct, so that you can go back home and be in the private. It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, I'm dealing with the best and the brightest on the planet, and all this stuff's coming out of the speed of sound. I love it.
Yeah. Imagine if our schools would adopt a program that gave them some tools, some real tools for success in life, such as, the power of your thoughts, or meditation, how to look within, that you're an infinite being, not just, that's something that's going to expire.
Well, it's the land of the dead, and they want to stifle the creative side of the spirit. They want to crush the spirit so you have none. I was raised in an environment for 18 years in that compromising modality. It's a sad state of affairs when one of your parents wants to steal your spirit. My spirit got stolen a lot, and I had a lot of things to overcome to break free. So I think it's important that I mention this to people, so they don't think I was born and raised in a perfectly functional environment. It's about my environment was about as dysfunctional as it comes. I left when I was 12. I left when I was 16 because the pain was too great. You put me in a corner and you push me hard enough, I will remove my energy from that negative vibration. And so over these past few years, the upside is I'm not getting binded up by the negative vibration of others. If they're stuck in dead man's land in their head, I remove myself from that chasm. I will not feed the fire. I will not feed that energy with negative garbage, because that's going to bring me down. I lose my power.
Yeah.
So
I moved out at 16 too, so I understand that.
Right.
You get pushed into a corner where you just have to go.
And the upside is I can see it for what it is, and I get it now. I had to go into forgiveness mode. So people need to hear this, because folks, if you don't forgive, you get to carry the burden. It's he ain't losing no sleep over. She's not losing it if you have got a dysfunctional parent, or both of them are dysfunctional. When you leave the nest, you've got to walk through those trials and tribulations in your mind. You've got to put them to bed. Otherwise, you become a conflicted spirit, and you stay in that state of conflict. So it's so important. And so, my dad, I had to feel sorry for him because he was raised in a family of like 14, and it was about as dysfunctional as they come. So that I knew why, but I still didn't make the behavior that he was bringing forward any less painful. But it allowed me to walk through the right path to go into forgiveness mode so that I could remove the pain from my heart and open up my heart and move in a whole new direction. That's the beautiful part. I actually got it. And thank goodness I got it, because otherwise I would have gone to my grave carrying the pain.
Well, you learned from it and you broke the cycle, because I think you're probably a fabulous father now. So there is always a gift in every lesson. Not everybody understands that, but it's true. You have to release it, not carry it.
Yeah, because that's the burden that will eat your lunch. Don Henley did a really great song, Forgiveness, of all things, the song Forgiveness.
And that helped heal you through that song? Is what I'm feeling.
It gave me a memo. I got a heavy heart.
I love your vulnerability. It's appreciated.
Well, I don't fear anything anymore. I know I've looked at black magic right in the face. I ain't afraid of no ghost. See, that's when you know who you are, when you can go deep inside yourself and really look at yourself and go through introspection. I'm not perfect, but you know what? I've come a long way, baby. You know, it's I've been working on myself. You know, even as a child, I know I'm a light worker, because I could always go into introspection and look within inside myself to fix things. And I knew when things weren't right. You know, I had a moral compass in not only my head, but in my heart. Your heart gives you the moral compass. Mm-hmm. And the bad part is most people are devoid of a moral compass because they have no heart. Isn't that amazing? We're talking about the heart today.
Yeah, and our intuition is always there guiding us, but all this outside noise and distractions keeps us from listening to our own internal navigation. If we can listen to that and tune in, you know, you'll be able to see that, okay, this is this person's reflection of how they're feeling on the inside, and they're putting it onto me, and I'm not going to allow that. You know, it's really, you have to be aware of what's going on. And
you know,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's ironic. When somebody tries to bring their shit across my bow, mm-hmm. I'm real good about saying, I'm sorry for your pain. I'm really sorry for your pain. And it really upends them on a whole different level. They don't even know how to respond. But what can they do? What are you going to do? Beat me up? I just said, I'm sorry for your pain. I know they're in pain. They just didn't realize they're in pain. But that's, see, when people throw negative crap at you, it means they're in pain. They're in fear and pain. You know?
That's how they feel about themselves, and they're projecting it outward. It's the same thing with children who are bullying. You know, it's an internal pain, and they're casting it out upon everybody. It's like a cry for help.
Yeah. So this is how we can fix our planet. See, having this dialogue, this discussion allows people to see the other side of the spectrum, so they can go deep inside themselves, because they got to release this pain. Because otherwise, if you carry it, I call it like carrying stamps. When you carry resentments and you're pissed at the world, well, guess what? It's like you're going to manifest what you don't want, because it's actually what you're going to get, because of that negative vibration is going to continue to bite you in the ass, mm-hmm. and keep coming back and haunting you until you break that chain that binds. And it's taken me a lot of work, and I'm still working on it, but I'm a heck of a lot better than what I was 30 years ago. So I've really found who I am. I mean, man, you know, like the creator, he had a sense of humor. He gave me 2 daughters, because if he had gave me 2 sons, I'd have had them doing damn push-ups, and then I wouldn't have probably found the side of Peter. I had 2 daughters. I couldn't make them do damn push-ups. What the hell? Because I was in the military, you know, I was pretty hardcore, you know. And that was my my mask that I wore, you know, to keep myself protected from being vulnerable. Mm-hmm. I was twice his size. I'm a little guy right now.
That's a good point that you brought up about, you know, not carrying other people's stuff, because what happens is it actually attaches to our energy fields, and it creates blocks of flow, you know. So, you know, you're not going to be able to give and receive love freely when you have these blockages and little kind of black spots, I would say. And then either you can release them and, you know, get rid of them and start over, which is a lot of the work that I do one-on-one with people. And then once you release it, you're going to have to really be mindful of your thoughts and the energy that you surround yourself with, energy that you project out. And then you come into a whole new understanding of how to control your emotions, and giving, like, the love and the energy flows freer when you just release that old baggage.
And it's really nice. Like, I'm in an environment where I get to be me. Brother Tim, he's another star traveler. He gets stuff. I got to talk to his beautiful father. He's like 82 years old. He's a star traveler too. I mean, that blew me away to be able to integrate. So I know I'm in the right spirit of things. Go figure. I had a radio show called In the Spirit of Things. But Tim, he gets things. He's etheric, deeper level, and he's got a special heart. And I'm glad I'm here because it's allowing me to get some heavy lifting done to get this work brought forward on this love vibration on the planet. Because I'm not just brought here to just administrate the world. I'm here to take care of the mind, body, spirit on the planet and show people. And I get, what's beautiful, I get these beautiful guests. I get to invite the best on the planet. I had Ty Ballinger on last week. He's a brother from another mother. He gets it. This is Mr. Cancer Alternative. I got exposed to him 10 years ago when I read his book. And when he lost 7 family members to the lie, I said, this is a guy with heart. And I was a Navy doc for 10 years. So I knew that what they were feeding was bullcrap. But I was so excited because I got to get him on my show. I mean, he's been on Fox News, some of the politically correct constructs of mainstream media. I can't even believe they've let him say what he's saying. But he's a stellar star rider as well. He's beautiful. He's moving the planet in a whole new direction on alternatives. And I get other people that I'm going to be picking on, so to speak, to bring to the house so that they can share all this beautiful stuff that's coming forward, because it's coming on every level, and I love it. I didn't get the luxury of just sitting back and being in one portal. Go figure, portals. I get to see the whole horizon and pull it all together. And I feel like a conductor. I get to wave my wand. I'm going to tune everybody up. And I get the violins, I get the percussionists, and get the trombones, the horns. Everybody's going to be in tune so we can get this vibration right. So I get everything through music analogies because I was a percussionist for 20 years and lead vocalist. I've done a little bit of a cappella singing, 16th century cantatas, a cappella. I mean, my heart really thrives in the music, and it's what opens up my heart and my soul. So I love music.
Yeah, definitely. Music's very healing. I was just going to say, I was thinking about Facebook and how there are so many, I would say, light workers out there who are pumping the news feeds with love and, intentions and sending messages of awakening. And I just want to say I'm so thankful for them because, we pay for the cable in our house and we're being bombarded by like Lysol commercials or jewelry, and these people who do this work, it is heart-based and it is for the intention of the collective, so I just want to say thank you to all of them because it is a lot of work to sit there and post and share and pumping energy into the collective because everybody's on Facebook. So it's just an amazing way to touch people's lives and, Well,
it's funny because Justin was in the room over at Biggie's house before he came on the show, and he posted that really beautiful unconsent link. I says, yeah, Brother Peter will post it far and wide across the planet. I am the poster child for posting. It's like when you look in the dictionary, you see a picture for poster. It shows Peter's face there. This is part of what I do. This is how I bring it forward. So I love sharing the truth across the planet, and this is where I live. Now, I got to give kudos to Mel and Biggie, because without them, we wouldn't be in this portal right now. And this is for the star travelers on the planet. He's got tons of them in the house. My goodness. I'm so overwhelmed with joy that they brought forward this new soapbox, for lack of a better term, that we can share this. And he's got beautiful people like Sacha. We got Sacha over there and Lisa Harrison, all these beautiful spirits that are sharing this paradigm shift. And I'm just like, I'm beside myself. I'm blessed with some of the best and the brightest on the planet, and we're going to make a difference.
Yeah, wait, I think we already are. It's very exciting.
It is exciting. It's overwhelming almost. It's like it just keeps coming fast and furious. I mean, every day I wake up, it's another roller coaster ride, but it's a nice ride. It's a beautiful ride. It's an energetic ride. I'm not in pain anymore. I know what the pain's about. I was in a lot of it. I'm not in it anymore.
You know, like I feel like most of us, you know, go through our lives and we're not really living. We're, you know, like we go to work, we do our jobs, and we're not even present throughout the whole day. It's like we're just like in zombie or something. You just go through the day and you're not even fully present. You know, everybody tells me I don't have time to be spiritual, or you know, like, what do you mean by that? I mean, you have to just bring it into your you know, every minute of the everyday. Because actually, I'll just say my husband, he's like he likes to come home after work and just relax and watch TV and just chill, which is exciting. But then he's like, I don't have time for spirituality, so you know, there's always a way to fit it in.
Let me share something with you. I'm going to give you some clarity on this because I used to be like that. Okay, so you know what? When you go and get in front, when you plug in front of the idiot box, you don't have to think about anything. And guess what? If you don't have to think about anything, you can't go into your heart. Yeah, you can't get in touch with your vibrations, your feelings, because you're diverted. You're diverted from your path.
But, you know, you also give your attention so much at work, and you kind of just want to chill too and turn off your mind, which I can understand that as well. You know, so I'm just looking at both sides here.
Well, it's ironic through this 30 years of uncovering all this garbage that's going on my planet. Yeah, I robbed my children of some daddy time because I would work 10, 12-hour days, and I would come home and I would dig in. Instead of watching the idiot box, I was digging in on the computer for 4 or 5 hours a night and digesting information on how did this thing get so off the chain? How do they get all this control from us? And so I started uncovering the mind, body, spirit paradigm and what happens in courts and what happens in this game, what happens at birth and all this stuff. I mean, it was almost like putting me in psychogenic shock because I could not believe what I was uncovering. I couldn't believe that there was black, dark, nefarious entities on my planet who are literally deliberately going out of their way to poison my brothers and sisters on multiple levels, and especially the white coat construct that I used to work in. It's sick. It's really sick. 97% failure rate on the cancer getting fixed. I call that genocide. So it's nothing less than that. So for any white coat doctors that are listening out there who are not on my side of the fence, wake your ass up. I'm really pissed off at you guys because you know what? Most of them, and a lot of them do know. I mean, 90% of all oncologists won't use the same protocols they put on you and your children. And you're just a money mark. You're just a consumer. You're just a customer. And it all started with the Rockefellers. And matter of fact, Ty Bollinger is doing an 11-day series, The Quest for the Cures. And the very first one, he actually covers the history. Matter of fact, I just posted a link last night. They're trying to outlaw homeopathy. Go figure. They don't want all natural. I mean, don't even get me started. See, that's when I get real excited. Who died and left these nefarious ones in charge? Well, we turned the other cheek. We went to sleep. And this is why, see, if we don't wake up, it's going to be just more of the same times 10. It'll be on steroids. It's going to be that much worse because this is why these are like beta tests. All the stuff that's coming forward are like beta tests on the brain. So what they're going to do, they're going to test you. Oh, we're doing forced compliance. Next, we're going to put a chip in your ass. Next, and by the way, if you get the chip, you're done. You know why? It changes up your vibration, your pitch, your energy. Go figure. I figure that they can shoot a Wi-Fi signal to that and change up your vibration. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
So they can stick the chip where the sun doesn't shine. Brother Peter doesn't get chips. Maybe chips, but not those type of chips.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, I'm a wild ride, Chantelle. I go on these little tangents. I don't mean to, but this is the stuff that needs to be brought forward on the planet because I'm not making any of it up, and I could prove up everything I say on what I speak of. Everything.
Yeah, I find a lot of what you were talking about, the paste, really interesting as well. And you show people how to make that, right?
Yeah, we have brother Brad. He's here in Colorado. I've talked to him many times. He did the second show on CCN with me, and there's a 19-minute video that shows everybody how to make it. I watched it once. I made 3 years supply in 1 day.
Wow.
In 1 day. Now, I mean, I'm not a genius. I like cooking in the kitchen. It's all good. That's all it is. Like a recipe, you know. It's really simple. Grind up your stuff. Put your oil in it. Put it in the oven under water. Put it in the 6-ounce jars, and let it emulsify for about 10 and a half hours, and it brings up the terpenes, the CBDs, the THC. And it's very, very potent because I do it at night so I can go into my good theta beta wave functions. So I'm actually repairing my own body by taking the medicine on board myself. I do the paste every night. And you really want to give it a little kick. Yeah, just go ahead and add about a half a teaspoon of coconut oil and that lauric acid, because the mid-chain branched amino acid goes straight to the noggin, and it actually releases, it creates homeostasis in the body, which is a positive thing. And it allows left-right brain to come online. It allows the cells to actually communicate with each other. Because most people's their third eye has been compromised by the fluoride. So this is why they put the kibosh on it since 1937, because big pharma Rockefellers who own the medical construct and said, well, we're not donating to these schools, these medical schools, unless, and it was another control construct, because at the turn of the century in the 1900s, we had a homeopathy and food was our medicine. And then you got the clowns of the circus to come in and control the game. That's all this is, a control construct. Well, this game is done.
Yeah, it's money and power.
Well, anybody can make the paste anywhere on the planet. They don't, everybody's talking about the Rick Simpson oil, which is great, but the little issue with that, if you, because you're burning in ethanol and you're trying to burn off the ethanol, you're actually, you're killing about 90 terpenes, which are effective modality to heal the body, but the oil still has excellent medicinal capacities for skin cancer and putting it up under the gum and fixing the endocrine system of the body. And anyways, but the paste is really, really stupid simple. I like stupid simple. If I can share with the planet, everybody can go score a half ounce of weed and go ahead and make their 30-day supply of medicine in their own kitchen. And if they keep waiting for a damn permission slip from scumbags are us, I'm sorry, I gotta call it the way I are, because that's all they are, is a bunch of control freaks, So everybody, you know what? I'm gonna have to do a special show, get Brother Brad back on the paste, because he's right here 6 hours south of me. I'm gonna go meet him in the physical, so we can compare notes. Because I'll give it away. I'll make it and I'll give it away just to piss off Big Pharma. You hear that, Pharma? I'm gonna show the love in a whole different way, because you can't control the flow when you give it away.
It's true.
I need a big field. I need a huge ass field. I was talking to Brother Johnny down in Ecuador. He's a friend of mine. He has QLP TV. He was him and I did a show about a month and a half ago. I said, I got to come down? And this was see, my intent is already coming forward. See, let's talk about heart and intent. My heart is it's so big. I want to do something to fix it. So what can I do to fix it? I can't fix everything, but what can I do to make a difference? And then all of a sudden, this thing about the paste came on board. I already learned the oil, the tincture making, and then I found the paste thing. I said, oh my God, this is just so much easier. And we're not having to throw away the pound of weed, because what people are doing is they wash that pound, then what you get the liquid and you put it in a countertop distiller, and that'll burn off the ethanol, leaving nothing but the oil at the end. So if you did a pound of weed, you'd actually wash it off. You freeze it, you freeze the buds, and then you wash it off, and it releases all the cannabinoids in the liquid, and then you put it in the countertop unit, distill it. All you're left with about 3 months supply, 60 grams of really, really potent oil medicine. However, if you let that pound dry out, you can actually convert it all to paste, because it's still got 80 to 90% of its effective terpenes, THC, and CBD. So you don't throw the pound out. I just, because I was hearing everybody just throw, I don't want to, why would we throw it out? So the first wash only takes about 10%. That's why you're only getting 60 grams of medicine off the first wash. So you let it dry out, and then you go into cooking class and you make a 3-year supply off that 1 pound instead of throwing it out. That's huge.
And it's medicine for like pain, like do cancer patients and stuff like that using it too?
Well, the paste is really new to our world. This is a whole new protocol, because most are unaware of it, but it's been around for thousands of years. Matter of fact, the Egyptians were actually taking like 9 pounds of weed, putting it in a cauldron or whatever, clay pot. Then they put the nice good oils in there, and they just let it sit out in the sun, and then it would emulsify and create their medicine. But they weren't doing oil like thousands of years ago. They were doing the paste though. So, but because Big Pharma doesn't want us talking about this, because Big Pharma they haven't really done any studies on this, so the jury's out. But the jury's not really out because I got the 121 National Institute of Health studies over at my International Cannabis Patients Wall, and there we go. Find that link, International Cannabis Patients Wall. I post a video over there for the 19 minutes on how to make the paste. And I have the 121 National Institute of Health studies that the jury is in that cannabis cures pretty much every cancer on the planet. But if they don't want to do cannabis, there's other alternative adjuncts that fix cancer like that. Liposomal C, Nigella sativa, all these other medical adjuncts. That's why I say I hang out with the best and the brightest on the planet for solutions, and that's why I bring them to the house, because I can't do it all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I got off on a tangent, sorry.
Quite all right.
But isn't it neat how all this comes together and that there's solutions for everything on the planet? This is where I get excited. This is where my energies. I fly fast.
I can tell.
Peter didn't take his medication today. But there is no such thing as medication. There's medicine. True medicine is what heals the machine, heals the cells, heals the mind, heals the heart, gets the vibration right. There's so many beautiful alternatives that can fix everything on the planet. And they don't want me talking about it. That's exactly why I talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyways, we have so many different beautiful things coming forward on the planet. Yeah, it was nice. I got to share the love with Brother Dean. He just got out for 16 months in jail. They black bagged him. He's here at our house. He's doing a show today, I guess, sometime. Anyways, it's a really sad state of affairs how they marginalize the truthers. I mean, well, hey, you know, if they weren't telling all these damn lies, we wouldn't have to bring forward the truth. And it makes them nervous. Well, it should, because you're a bunch of liars, crooks, and thieves, and you have no soul. So guess what? We're going to out you. And we're going to out you in a whole new way. That's where we're at.
Yeah, how do we get leaders that are heart intention for the collective?
They're already here. You know, they're all coming into the front door. You got the Ty Bollingers, Peter Eugenes. You got. I'm working on getting Brother Troy from Living Herbal Pharmacy on next Friday. He's got an incredible site with. He talks about, even shows videos how to make the liposomal C, which is a major medical adjunct for cancer, killing cancer. Linus Pauling did a paper on this many years ago, and they varied the studies, just like Laetrile in 1973 and all these other simple. If you don't know what Laetrile is, folks, it's apricot seeds. I mean, really. They took it off the market in 73, so they've been suppressing all this stuff. Well, so if they had good intent, or if they just don't know, how can they have good intent if they're pulling stuff and suppressing stuff? So I'd say that's not good intent. That's really bad intent.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we got to play hide the sausage on everybody, and because we want to funnel you into our negative construct, so we can hypothecate your backside from cradle to the grave, because we're probating your estate. Because you never came back home alive again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're teaching that too. So that's anyways, it's a very fast ride at Peter's house.
Yes. Oh, I was just going to say something about, you know, how the media likes to focus on the crimes and the murders and the rapes and all of that kind of stuff.
You froze, sweetie.
You are too.
Oh my goodness, we're always frozen in time. We're in the here and now, though. That's all that matters.
Yeah, so they focus on, you know, all of the end results of the crime, but why don't we look at what's causing these people to commit the crime? Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay. What causes them to commit the crime? And I feel strongly in my heart that they're just completely disconnected and lost.
Yep. Are we lost here? No, here we go. We're back. Coming back online. There we go.
Okay.
Anyways, it's ironic. What CCN's doing and bringing forward, they got to play with us. They play with me on my blog talk show and all stuff. Because you know, and I'm just this unassuming gentleman who has nothing but a heart for his brothers and sisters, and these people are trying to put the kibosh on what we're bringing forward on the planet. So that means, you know what? they're done. They're done. You know what? This is irrevocable proof that they have lost their way and they lost their control a long time ago.
Oh, that's good.
What's that?
I said, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, and that's the way it's supposed to be. They're supposed to, you know, like I say, they created all this mayhem because they want to control. That's pretty darn evil, you know, from the Vatican on down, go figure. So I call them the whores because that's what they are. They got a bunch of prostitutes. They sold their ass for lucre. It's just about the money. It has nothing to do with anything else. And that's an empty vessel. You know, we are the vessels of life. We're the vessels of truth. And we're bringing forward this beautiful shift for the masses that are awake, and lots of beautiful stuff coming. So they will do what they can do to try and put the kibosh on our new paradigm shift. It's too late. It's going to come full circle. The paradigm shift is here. The ley lines are being restructured. I'm really excited to see that the wake up calls here. When you said like all the light workers, I was last September. I went down to Treasure Island. I had about 850 people on my Peter Eugene page. It's ironic after I did that, and it wasn't because I did that, but it was all of a sudden all these light workers came tromping through my front door. And they're all light workers, about 3,000 in the last 90 days. So, because you know what I was saying? See, my intent was coming forward. I was saying, I can't do this all by myself. People can copy, paste, drag, click. I don't know your circle of influence. I don't know their circle of influence. Now I have thousands who are attached to 500, 800, 1,000, you know, 100, 150. And then, so when I post in their portals, they could share the love to all these other portals. Because I was looking how I was going to get this done. I didn't know how I was going to get it done. But I brought my heart forward. I brought my intent forward, and they all come walking in, and they just keep flooding in. I'm going to hit my 5,000 mark. I'll have to make a new page before long.
How did you come into having your own station? I don't think I ever found that out from you.
You mean the Blog Talk Radio?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I started Privatis.Me, which is my website, which actually teaches people how we got here and how to get the hell out. And so when I created that, we created the radio station called, well, actually, I was on Blog Talk. My first interview was with Santos Bonacci. He's over there in Australia. Do you know who Santos is?
No.
Oh, geez, sweetie, what planet are you on?
Oh, sorry.
Matter of fact, I need to bring Santos on CCN. I was trying to get him locked on one day. Anyways, I did my first radio interview with him, and I was talking about things like the bonds and stuff like that, and how they got us trapped. And then I went over on another show for about 3 months, and this didn't quite fit there. See, I'm the square peg in the round hole. So they were going into anger energy, not Santos, but this other party was going into anger stuff and not creating any solutions. I said, I don't live here. And so I went over to Free Reigns over at another station. And after 8 weeks, I knew I didn't fit there either, because people like to put out dictates to Peter and tell him what he can say. Nobody tells me what I can say. Not anybody on the damn planet. So then I started, in the spirit of things, my own radio station where I could bring forth these truths. And I did that for the last 2 years. And I just did my last show about a month and a half ago, because I've got this beautiful portal here in TV time. It's a bigger soapbox. So, but that I started in the spirit of things. Because we all have free will. So I would talk about how we got binded up. So I was bringing the concepts forward, how we got stuck, and what we can do for solutions to come back home. So I've grown it all organically. I don't have, but I think 2,300 people on my Privatis.Me Facebook page. I mean, I've got more people on my Peter Eugene page, light workers, than I have on my Privatis education page. So people aren't quite ready yet.
They're getting there.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got an 8-week curriculum that'll blow up their brains a little bit, but it's a nice ride, because it gives you clarity. The first 4 weeks, matter of fact, the first 4 weeks I've already done videos for here at CCN. It's under my Peter Eugene page. Real good place to start is week 1. And then how did you get here? And then I cover the birth construct and the bonds, what goes on in court. I cover all these different, but I also cover the medical side of the house as well. I got if you go watch my free tour at Privatis.Me, it shows all the medical modalities, and I give it away for free because I will not charge my brother for fixing his machine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, so that's over there. It's a 20-minute video, and actually PowerPoint presentation that Zach did, my producer's husband, and it actually PowerPoints and shows all the links so you can find out where everything is. Because if they don't watch the video, they get lost over at my house because I have so much stuff. Go figure. Yeah, the education page is enough to blow up anybody's brain. So it's a fast ride. Yeah, I'll live in my head for about 24 hours. But isn't it nice we get to do what we do? See, this is where the spirit comes home. Our spirits are aligned with the planet, and we're in the shift, and all we're doing is bring forth the right heart, and that's what we're supposed. That's what we're here. That's what we're here from this planet to do. You know, I got a memo when I was 16. I was looking up into the sky, and this voice talked to me. Yeah, they were gonna say Peter lost his mind. Nope, the voice told me I was gonna do something special on the planet when I was 16 years old. I guess I'm doing something sort of special on the planet.
Yes, most definitely.
So, but it's not about me. I know it sounds like I'm grandiose and grandstanding, whatever. I just have so much information in my head. I'm an excitable boy. I love sharing the truth, and that's where I get excited. For those that are ready to hear it, great. Those that aren't, I put them in meltdown mode pretty quick. And I try not to. I do put my thumb on their pulse to see where they're at. So I know when to go into a venue or not go into a venue, to a sharer, you know, whatever. Because if they're totally asleep, I let them stay asleep.
Yeah, it's not really worth the
No, I'm not going to argue. I don't want to get into this conflict, so I just leave it alone. My spirit tells me who's aligned and who's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been on all kinds of subjects. I'm just trying to
find your way back. Find your way back to your heart. Jefferson Starship. I'm always flying. I love Jefferson Starship. Anyways, but it's in your family, in your spiritual realm. It may take a minute to, you know, my significant other. It took a minute to. She understood. I mean, we were actually covering ground when we first got married about the Vatican and all this other stuff and whatever. Then she got busy with life and then sort of went back to sleep. I mean, she's awake on many levels, but she's very, very asleep. When she told me in 2012 she wanted to go vote, I almost had an aneurysm. I said, what the hell do you think I talk about on my radio shows? I said, if you're part of that construct, you're nothing but a slave and you're getting benefits and privileges. I said, I share this with the planet. I even teach them how to unconsent. I even created administrative documents to show them how to get that all off the plantation. And you want to go vote? And this is like 5:30 in the morning. I blew a gasket. I said, damn it, Nina, wake up. Anyways, she's a sweetheart. She's got a really good spirit, but she's put all her power and consent over into this construct. She's coming too, though. She's coming around. My daughters are. I got them quitting drinking soda, and I think they're doing a little bit of juicing now. So it takes what it takes.
Just plant the seeds.
Yep.
They'll grow. Yeah, I say that to my family too. I'm like, don't you listen to anything I say or teach or speak of? And they just blow me off, I think, just because I could be a lot, maybe, too, like you, possibly.
Well, I don't use a microwave. I keep telling them to quit. Yeah, that's ironic. Microwaves actually destroy your food. In 1976, Russia pulled all the microwaves from their country. But in Numbskull Land, USA, Inc., because it's all about the damn money, you got people poison themselves. Because when you actually cook that crap in the microwave, you actually make it toxic to your body. So you're setting up a septic system in your own body. First of all, if you're buying boxed food from Walmart, it's not food. And Hot Pockets is not a food product. It's garbage. It's total garbage. Ramen noodles, it's total garbage. Natural News covers all this stuff on. They're actually putting metal flakes in the Wheaties. I mean, you can't make this crap up. I mean, your food supply has been compromised, and all the canned goods in America have endocrine disruptors in them. That's the liners, the spray, whatever crap that keep it from spoiling or whatever, yeah, they're endocrine disruptors, and 80% of these products that we have in America would never get to another country. That should tell you something. So I don't eat nothing out of a can anymore.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's kind of hard to go all vegetables and
Yeah. It takes a bit. I got to graze every now and then, but at least it'll be farm raised, and it will be all natural, no steroids or whatever. I don't eat hardly any meat. I like having eggs. It's a good protein source with kale or something like that. I'm doing a lot more dense greens, so because it pulls heavy metals out of your body, like chlorella, spirulina. But make sure you know the source, because there's a lot of scummy sources out there, like GNC doesn't have good products. And I learned that as a bodybuilder, because when I was lifting, I couldn't find a protein powder worth a damn. So I looked into hemp powder, which is the most dense green protein source on the planet. There's no THC in it, and it's got no compromisation, no fillers, no garbage. Most people are unaware. They don't even know how to shop and find a non-compromised product. I'm a really good researcher. I've had lots of practice.
Mm-hmm.
I can find anything on anything.
Yeah, and it's hard to feed like a large family fresh organic foods too. So it's really challenging for the average American family, or any family actually, to find good healthy options that are affordable.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why you need to get on the page with Brother Peter. I'm going to send you the links from Brother Mike's house. And he actually these containers. They got these processes now. You can grow dense nutrition without having a backyard. That's just an excuse. Don't even need a backyard anymore. Anyways, I'll make sure you get a hold of that link. But see, if we don't take our power back, if we don't remove ourselves from keeping, because you're subsidizing your own demise by feeding the system. And I know it's an adjustment and it takes a minute, but everybody can grow their own dense nutrition. Everybody can become self-sufficient. If you choose not to be, then you're going to pay a lot for this muffler. Have you ever seen that commercial back in the 70s? No, you weren't even around. Anyways, see, you're going to pay a lot for this muffler. If you don't grow your own cannabis, you're going to spend $2,000 for a pound of cannabis from the crooks out in the market. If you're growing your own, you don't have to pay a penny, except for the time and energy you spend to create it for yourself. So this is why and then on top of that, when I talk about the GMO compromisation coming, that's why they're legalizing in all these states, because they have the whores that be, Monsanto and company, already got a gig down in Ecuador to grow GMO modified weed, which they'll put in all the dispensaries up here in America. So all the numbskulls will be smoking GMO compromised cannabis instead of getting the real pure cannabis that's not been compromised. They control both ends of the spectrum. Here's my irrevocable proof. I got a great link just on that article alone about the GMO cannabis coming to town. But if you're in their construct, they can control the flow. So all these dispensaries, all corporate LLC corporations, so they can put out dictates because they asked for permission with these licenses and all these other things. They didn't know how to go in the private. They didn't know how to operate in the private. So this is why we're in the shit we're in, but it's fixing to change.
Yeah.
Did I say fixing? That's some Louisiana would say. Anyways, it rubs off sometimes. I was down in Louisiana for 5 years.
That's where I'm at.
They said, what they told me, Chantelle, they told me I talk fast. I said, you just got to listen fast. Jeez, guys. I said, the fluoride's been working good with you guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up.
In Louisiana, I definitely stuck out. Go figure.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
I stick out everywhere.
It's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing. We're all unique in our own ways, and so that's right. We're supposed to be ourselves. If you can't be you, and people don't want to let you be you, then it's people I don't want to be around. If they can't let me be myself, then we have a problem.
Yep. Just don't surround yourself with those kind of people.
No. I have a great time with all these star travelers. I have such beautiful conversations and energetic shifts across the planet. And this is a beautiful place to be. I am so blessed because my heart is wide open and all the other hearts keep coming in. And I'm just a love bomb. I'm going to blow up all over the planet. And I'm really excited. Yeah, I sent you the link, Love Bomb by the Tubes. See, because I get everything through the music.
Yep, hearts connecting hearts. It's a good thing.
It's always good to get down to thy own self, be true. Get down to the heart of the matter. Find who you are. Find what you want to do with your life. And this is what I tell my daughters. Find something what you want to do to go live life on purpose. Find what you accelerate in. Don't let somebody put out the dictates. I did 52 years punching a time clock. So I know about being on the treadmill of life. I paid my dues in triplicate. So for all those people say, well, you need to go get a job. You know what? That's what's killing you folks because, with a job just over broke, all you do is stay in that stupid bind and you can't pull yourself out. So once I was willing to throw it all away, hey, I came in the world bare ass naked. I'm leaving the same way.
That's true.
Nobody gets out alive, but my spirit it'll live on.
So you're living the life of freedom. You're a free bird.
I'm really a free bird. I'm in free fall. Hell, I've been all across this planet, West Coast, East Coast. Now I'm in Colorado. You can't make this stuff up. I was in Washington State, California, Florida. I've been here in Colorado. I'm back in Colorado. What a ride. What a ride this has been. It's incredible. I mean, and I have nothing encumbering me, nothing binding me up. I'm not a slave to a house payment. I'm not a slave to the construct of the system. I get to do what I'm supposed to be doing. I get to live vicariously. I'm not with my children, but that's they know what daddy does. So they know daddy's got some heavy lifting to do to change the planet. And I've actually got them watching some of my videos.
How do they respond to them?
Well, they're so busy with Dancing with the Stars. I can't hardly get them to watch. I asked my daughter Hella. And I said, "Did you watch Daddy on his Ty Bollinger?" Because I think that's the only show I've done since I've been on CCN where I didn't bring forth one 4-letter adjective. I kept it really professional, for lack of a better term. But I'm gonna, I know they're gonna watch it. My significant other says they're gonna watch it together, all 3 of them. So. Anyway, that was a great interview with Brother Ty. We brought forth all this beautiful information for the planet. So even my dead in the head family members, I sent the link to them. Maybe they'll click on it and see what the hell I talk about on the planet. Yeah, when your own family, I'm not a celebrity. I don't want to be a celebrity. I don't want to be out in front. I'm not in charge of any movements. I'm just here to bring all the light workers together so we can go back home and call it a day and remove ourselves from this control construct that's been binding us up, everybody up on the slave plantation. But I like the concept of living life on purpose. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And I wasn't living life on purpose the first 52 years.
That's the most fulfilling for your soul too. I mean, that's what feeds you.
Yep.
When you're living on purpose.
I mean, I'm not binded up by my time. I mean, I'm really, really busy. I mean, I'm the busiest guy on the planet. Same time, I make time for Peter now. I go out and I lay out in the sun for a couple hours. I'll go walk in the mountains. I got to take back some of me time because that's how I get my grounding. Otherwise, all work and no play will make Peter a dull boy. So, and I gotta feed my machine. I gotta rejuvenate as well because I'm always on this fast track creating. I'm in creative mode all the time, getting new people to come on these TV shows like yourself. And I think it's incredible that I get to go cherry pick who I want to bring to the house because these are the spirits that I vibrate with, and they're helping me do some heavy lifting that I couldn't do by myself.
Yeah. It's pretty profound. Everybody's coming together. It seems like in the last year, everybody's just connecting all over the world and creating a tight band light network.
Yeah.
So it's really great to be a part of. And thanks for inviting me on. Just the other day, I wasn't prepared at all.
I know. Well, you know what? I open doors wherever possible, and I didn't have anything filled or slotted for Friday. I said, you know what? She's got the right heart, I can tell. I hadn't even seen your video yet or anything, but like I say, I get a good read on people, on vibration energy. So, anyways, you fit just fine here. You're another stellar star traveler. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, thank you. It's fun having a loose conversation. There's no script or anything, so I like the free flow of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's yeah, you need to go see some of my other calls. You talk about all over the planet. I got Justin, I got Curtis, I got Jonah, Johnny, all these other folks. I've never scripted. I've never, I know the topic I want to start with. And I always know because I want to know the content of where I'm sort of going. But, we said this is about the consciousness shift. Everything we're talking about here is about coming back from the unconscious. Let's take a look at I just got a tune. I'm sorry. Let your Linda Ronstadt, 1975, I think it was. Tell It Like It Is. It was actually originally done by, I forget his name, but he's from Louisiana. He's got a great voice. Anyways, but the song talks about let your conscious be your guide. But if you're unconscious, how can your conscious be your guide?
Yeah.
So I get everything through the words. I get everything through the songs. You know what? I would love to do a show just to tune up the planet, just a musical tune-up show. I could have so much fun. I used to do it over at after my blog talk shows. I get on my Skype and everybody pile into my Skype room and we'd have party time with Peter because I tune everybody up because I go on all these nice little roller coaster rides when it comes to music. I can go anywhere. I mean, anywhere. I mean, you've seen some of the tunes. You haven't seen the half of it. I got a million tunes slotted in my head, and I can go there on the drop of a dime. And I can find them on YouTube on the drop of a dime, too, so that's nice.
Yeah.
So that's fun. See that now? Are we having fun yet? Life is too short not to live it to its fullest. Every day you wake up and you've got to do something. What can you do today to have a positive effect on somebody's life? And I'm always looking to get into somebody's portal to make a difference.
Yeah, I am too. That's what I can't turn it off. It just kind of pours out.
Yeah, well, yeah, your heart's wide open. So this is where we're supposed to be. And this is why in the land of the dead, they forgot who they were. And that's why hopefully, and I've always understood things of the heart. I've always been a really sensitive soul.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to believe, huh?
No, not at all.
No, but I've always sort of had a gruff exterior because I'm not politically correct. Attacking diplomacy probably doesn't fit in my realm. I've gotten a lot better over time, but yeah, you should have seen me 25 years ago. Oh man! But like I say, I was wearing a lot of different hats and a lot of different masks, and then I got to throw all these masks away and just be Peter. That's the best blessing anybody can give themselves on the planet, when you can just be yourself and screw everybody else who doesn't let you be yourself. I don't deal with anybody who doesn't let me be myself. And then, because the ones that love you, the ones that have the right heart, they welcome you in with open arms. They're not looking to put you in a box construct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. To be your authentic self and still have people, loving, supporting you is the goal, not because, when you're in your authentic space, it pushes them to kind of be authentic too. So that's what we were talking about earlier. People just kind of, when you start to awaken, you start losing people out of your life.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the non-attachment thing, is just to let them go. And you were going to say something?
No, but yeah, you have to, they cut the knot with you. I don't throw anybody out, you know what I'm saying? But I know when I don't fit and I don't go back for some more of, if somebody's going to make me feel bad about myself,
mm-hmm.
why would I want to go back that's somebody who is in conflict in their own heart, and they love themselves so little, they've got to throw stones at somebody else to make themselves feel better. But you know what? That's a really weak in the heart. That's a really weak-minded individual who's been compromised, and I let them live in their crap. I'm not gonna sit in the same crap pile with them. They can sit where they want to. They can do what they want, but I'm not going to join them at their party. And I'm not going to be abused at their expense. And I've dealt with a lot of people in my 52 years who like to throw stones at you and tear you down and tear your heart down. And I don't have to live there anymore, and I don't.
That's good. It helps, when to understand that people are on different levels of consciousness. It helps you to not get angry with them, because you know, it can be really frustrating. So when you're dealing with somebody, it's nice to just say, okay, they're just in a different place, and then, you know, remove yourself from it, because it can eat you up when people are beating you up and it's their reflection on you. But your awareness of their state of consciousness also helps. I feel from you getting angry.
Yeah, I don't, like I say, I can't run in the anger and conflict anymore. I mean, like I say, I am an excitable boy, and there are days that I feel like I get a little mind hacked sometimes because I'm in so many portals and I'm dealing with lots of people across the planet. I'm on the phone, you know, multiple hours. I'm on Skypes and I'm integrating. So I'm always in a state of flux. So it's a very, very busy ride here at the house. So I just have to keep my center. And I got to always come back to my center. And that's why I go and do, I'm eating dense nutrition. That's why I go lay down on the ground, get a little sun time, get some vitamin D in the retina. I don't ever wear sunglasses. Everybody wears sunglasses. Folks, take your sunglasses off and let your eyes get some of that light. Because the light's what comes to that third eye and helps open it up a little bit as well. But
do you do any sun gazing at all?
I've heard of it, and I had some friends in Washington State that do it. I've never done it though.
You have to kind of be careful with it. But
yeah, I don't. I get plenty when I go out and I do my walks. You know, see, because the sun's it's straight up. Everybody else is wearing sunglasses but Peter. And I do my walks. I'm getting all the vitamin D coming into the retinas and into the brain. So yeah, that's a real positive thing. Like I say, taking time for yourself. And I didn't know how to do that for about 52 years. I was always last on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people feel like they're being selfish, but really, when you're loving yourself and you know you're centered, I mean, that's gonna just help you love everybody else better. So I know
Right.
a lot of people feel guilty taking time to yourself, but we really should take time for ourselves because it sets the platform for everything else to go smooth. Because like you said, you're going to get depleted because you're giving so much to everybody else. So yeah, I do wish people could take time for themselves and not put themselves on the bottom of the list. Well, you know, it's people will start taking advantage of you too if you begin to open that gateway of being the one that gives. They'll surely take.
Yep. Oh yeah. I know about the takers. I get them over at my house too, i.e. Privatis.Me. But Daddy comes home. I walk softly and carry a big stick. Sometimes I got to hit it up on the table to get everybody's attention because nobody's going to commandeer what I'm doing. Nobody's going to control the flow. Everybody's get in the seat, but they also got to take responsibility for themselves. Because I have I have a lot of children. See, you go figure. That's the way they treat us in the system is incompetence, children, imbeciles. They use these words, and they have. Because most people are children. They haven't come back home to age of accountability, and they don't want to. They're looking for a Who's Your Daddy. I used to play that song by Toby Keith on the show. Who's your daddy? Anyways, well, guess what? The state's your daddy, and that's what, like I say, people have been programmed for so long to look to somebody else to fix their shit. They don't know how to come back home to themselves to realize that freedom of responsibility lies strictly 100% with us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No excuses. You know, when somebody tells me they're going to do something, I expect them to do it. They tell them, you know, if they don't do it, you bet. You know, I don't do the excuse thing unless you're dead or dying. You know, everything's an excuse because don't say you will do something. See, this is about intent of the heart. Don't say you're going to do something and then don't do it. That's why I would rather not put my ass out there and say I'm going to do something, and then I'm binded up and I can't meet up with it because that shoots holes in your heart a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you know, you always want to be a man of substance or a woman of substance and of your word. But I don't, so I try not to overextend myself. If I can't meet it, I won't say it. But, you know, I have expectations of others to be an honor and responsibility. When they say they're going to do something, I expect them to do it. And if you don't, guess what? You're mud. So if I can't rely on your doing what you say you're going to do, I'll remove myself from that construct as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, people can let you down often.
Yep. So if it's got to be, it's up to me. That's the way my brain thinks. You know, I will always complete the task that I put my mind to because I'm responsible to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what else? What else we got? Man, we've covered some ground today, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
What else can we talk about? Well, yeah, you say you're going to be bringing forth some more videos in the near future. Yeah, please do. You're doing some really, really good work. I love what you're sharing, and you put it so succinctly. You really are a good wordsmith.
Oh, thank you. You
No,
are too. You're fast. You're faster than me, though. I'm kind of slow with my delivery, and you get a lot in there quick, which I love.
well, I know. I'm trying to slow down and listen more and whatever. It's ironic. I did a show with Dean last Friday, brother Dean out of Canada, and it was his baby anyway. So hour 45 minutes, I didn't get a word in. I didn't get to say it, and that's fine. You know, I was actually in a happy space because I got to shut up for a change and listen to Dean go off on his rant. He did a beautiful job. And I told him, I said, because it got done for the last 15 minutes, he let me in. And I go, you know what? I said, and then at the end of the day, he was apologetic. I said, brother, you had the floor. You need to set the stage, the precedents for the new beginnings that you're starting on your show. I says, and you had to let the planet know where you came from and how ugly it is up in Canada as well. So he got to really run very, very efficiently, and I'm so proud of him. And he'll be doing a show today, I guess, as well. Like I say, we're all in this together. We all are in this together. It's like I actually take happiness in my heart when somebody gets to come join us at CCN. We're bringing more. Matter of fact, we offered Ty Bollinger a seat. You know, this is not about Peter. This is about all of us. But I'm just a big mouth, and I can bring stuff forward, and I like to talk about everything under the sun, and I ain't afraid of damn ghosts. So that's the upside.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I've learned quite a bit today.
Half of it. You haven't seen the half of it yet.
I know. I just kind of connected with you the day before yesterday.
Right.
So.
And you were crazy enough to tell me yes.
And when I commit, I commit.
Very good. Well, see, you're a woman of your word. See, that's what I'm talking about. When somebody tells me, yeah, no, that you want to drive me crazy, and my poor Andrea, my producer. She had the baby. It's like, okay, Peter had to go fly the plane over at my own blog talk. Well, I was actually running the whole thing. Johnny would step in, but sometimes people say they were going to show and they wouldn't show. You want to make me crazy? Like I say, don't tell me you're going to do something and then don't do it. I don't want to hear no bull crap. I don't want to hear no excuses because my ass is hanging in the wind. I don't like being hanging in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, it doesn't happen too often these days, but it's anyways. But it's so nice because I get to invite all these beautiful people to the house. And that's what I call it. This is our house. And we get to share the love across the planet, bring all this new stuff. For those that haven't heard this, this is going to be, I'm going to post this sucker far and wide. Everybody's going to get the memos. I call them memos. See, in the military, they always wrote memos to us. And if you didn't read them, the colonel would get really pissed off because you might miss ship's movement if you didn't get the memo. And if you miss a ship's movement, you're AWOL. Go figure. I was in the Sea of Illusion in the True Admiralty. I was in the damn Navy for 10 years. I can't even believe. But they would always write memos. So I'm rewriting new memos for the planet. This is what we do. And people they chuckle. I didn't read your memo. Sorry. See, you couldn't say that to the colonel because if you didn't read the memo, you'd be going to the brig because something happened. That's why they send out memos in the military. But anyways, that was pretty funny that I did 10 years in that construct, but I never fit there either.
You were there for 10 years?
I was in there for 10 years. But you know what? I was all about the heart, and my job was patching up the boys in combat. And then I find out it's all wars of bankers war. You know, I've been lied to on every level, you know, and I uncovered that after I got out. I went in with good intent. I just didn't know I got lied to. They used my good intent and they manipulated because I was just a human resource, a commodity. Because when you die, they get a $10 million policy on all these people that die in these bullshit wars, and the banks are getting paid. The IMF gets paid. Most people don't know that. Most of the people in the military don't have a clue that they're just a human resource. Nothing more, nothing less. I had to go in for 10 years to figure it out.
Wow.
But I learned a lot, and I found my way through all those little portals. I had to go into the belly of the beast to find out what this crap was all about, so I could figure it out, so I could bring everybody home again that's ready to go home. We always talk about going home. The ones that are ready, they just have to come over to the house. They got to come back home to their heart first.
Mm-hmm.
We get to do some fun stuff, don't we?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be creating. Are you gonna be creating any more new short links? And where you're going on your next link? Do you have anything in mind?
Well, I was thinking about touching on the subject of Easter a little bit and how, you know, that's a touchy subject with people. I'm not religious. I've never been.
Neither.
But, you know, Jesus was a big, you know, teacher of love and unity and all of that. So I was just thinking the other night, you know, about like how people celebrate Easter and all of this. And I was just laying in bed and I heard a voice and it said, "What they seek in me is already within thee." So we put everybody up on these pedestals, which I love Jesus, don't nobody get mad. But, you know, we put these people on pedestals when we have the power within ourselves. And that's what he was trying to tell everybody was, you know, go within. But the consciousness level at that point in time in history was not able to absorb that, I feel.
Well, here now let me share, since we're on the subject. Brother Bill, he does hidden meanings. He's got a website called Hidden Meanings. I don't know, it's .net.com, whatever. Anyways, he talks about the Bible. The Bible is just an allegory, sweetie. There is no Jesus. Jesus is just a construct in our heads to get, but it's a beautiful construct. I'm not putting down the Jesus. There's a Christ consciousness in all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I get all that stuff. So for all my brothers and sisters, but the genuflect and light votive candles and pray to statues named Mary, you know what? That's all a false construct. You're giving over your damn power, and this is where the religiosity on the planet has caused more millions and billions of lives of death under a control construct, under the guise of whatever. But Bill Donahue does a great job on explaining, and it's what gave me clarity when I started going to listen to his stuff. And then talk about it's going to come in from the east. You know, in the Bible, they're talking about your right mind.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get the concepts. They don't get anyway. So I love the work he's done. I need to get him on this TV show because he is stellar, and he brings it forward for all of us who have been in the mire, in the religious construct. Because I've been in the Roman Catholic churches, the Southern Baptist churches, and it never ever fit. It just never. I never felt like I fit, and I felt like I was giving over my power, and I just didn't feel comfortable there. And then I happened upon Brother Bill. I just posted him a couple days ago. I told him I want to get him on the show. He hasn't answered back yet. He'll come in. I know I can get him. But he does such a beautiful, succinct job. He's got all these videos, and he explains and breaks it down for all of us who are trying to transition to the false paradigm we've been stuffed down our throats our entire lives. Because that is one of the hardest constructs to cut the knot on, is the religiosity part of this, because it goes far, wide, and deep. My ex-wife thinks I'm a nutcase because I tell her that Jesus fish is nothing but an allegory. It's just a construct. It's, however, a beautiful story. However, you keep registering and giving over your power to these. And
they were trying to. I feel that they were trying to empower us. They weren't looking for followers. I feel, just like Buddha wasn't a Buddhist. Jesus wasn't a Christian. Those are the followers.
Right.
They were trying to empower us to our own divinity, I feel.
Right. You're right. The spirit lies within, and you are your own. The Trinity lies within you as well. Your mind, the mind, body, spirit. So Curtis does a really good job on sharing that. He's another deep drink that's in my house. So this is but it's sad because the religious construct is just really fractured more billions of people on the planet than anything else. Well, if we're talking about sharing the love and what the precepts they're teaching, Well, where's love thy brother, love thy neighbor? When you see him on the street and he's in a bad way, you just turn the other cheek. Where's the heart? See, now I can, that's why the proof's in the pudding, I say. So otherwise, you can say whatever you say, but proof is in action. When I come across this country on a train ride, and I didn't have hardly anything in my pockets. I found 2 homeless guys I was able to have breakfast with, and I took them. My heart told me what to do. I took them and had breakfast. What a beautiful thing. And I looked in their souls, and their hearts just lit up, and it was like, what a beautiful experience. And they were thankful, and it wasn't, they weren't using me. I wanted to do it. My intent is my intent, and I can do it. Yeah, I know there's a lot of users out there, but that was so nice. When I get to do stuff like that on purpose, because I'm always looking to go out of my way on purpose to do something nice, because that's where my heart lives.
Mm-hmm.
God, what a beautiful place to be in the heart, isn't it?
Yes.
But my feminine sisters are killing me. I love you gals. But it's a good thing. See, because I understand the yin yang. I understand the connection of the spirit. My sisters are not below me or above me. We're equal. We're equal in parts and the vibration and the resonance. And I understand all that stuff. So I really love my sisters. They are so beautiful. But when I look into their eyes, I see myself looking back. See, that's my reflection.
Yeah.
I get it.
I did too. I'm a reflection of you, and you're a reflection of me.
Yeah.
Imagine if we just treated everybody like that.
I know. I know. The planet would be, this would be our heaven on earth.
Yep.
And that's what we're working towards. Oh, my goodness. What an exciting time to be alive.
Definitely. It's going to be exciting to see, like, the next 20 years, how it's shifted. Because it's accelerated.
Yeah. The whole reason I knew I couldn't just sit back anymore. That's why I had to make a decision. I had to make a conscious decision to do something, because I said, I don't want my children inheriting what this insane train. I said, I want to leave this world in a better spot than I found it, and it's now coming to fruition. And it's going to take a minute, and that's fine, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, the collective intention of that is what will shift it quicker.
It's all manifesting. Yeah, before I know it, I'm going to have a source. I'll be making lots of paste for the planet.
What you've named it? What did you name it? Peter's
potent paste. Yeah. Now my buddy Tim, he goes, yeah, we'll just call it Potent Peter. I says, oh geez, here we go, bastardizing my name again. Thank God, Mommy didn't name me Dick. I says, anyways, my name takes a hit, sweetie. You should have been on there with Curtis when he was talking about, we were talking about the DNA, how they collected up, if you collected up 300 million people's DNA, then, and all you had is 150-pound Peter standing there. I said, okay, how did that happen? 150 pounds, what is 150? Anyways, he's talking about my weight. He was just saying, because the power lies within 300 million versus the one by itself independent, if, you leave your DNA behind. Anyways, it's just weird how the conversation we're just talking about. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know where to go.
I'm chuckling because I'm sort of caught flat-footed, and I don't even blush, but I think I'm blushing. Yeah, because I'm not the shy, quiet type. I say stuff, but yeah, my name has been taken out of context. But you know what? Peter stands for the rock, and I am steadfast, and I will stand in the breach until I get this job done. It's not even a job. Until I get this transition for this planet, I have work to do. And, what am I going to do? Stop doing what I do and just
exist.
I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing for the moment.
That's perfect.
Here now, just like what you're doing. So you're gonna be creating, going to a more creative mode to bring forth more stuff. I'm really looking forward to that, and we'll be able to get you back on, post it far and wide. I'm the poster child for posting, like I say.
Peter the poster child.
Yeah, I know. My name can be used in all
facets.
Oh, I know. Yeah, girls definitely use my name out of context. Yeah, how you girls get clucking your tongues and say, well, he petered out. See, that's just so wrong. Anyways. Anyways, you got to have a sense of humor because life's just too darn short, and everybody gets, everybody gets so thin-skinned about what you say and how you say it, or whatever. Like I say, everybody wants to put you in the politically correct construct, that politically correct box. And like I say, I was on my P's and Q's with Ty because Ty's he's a more even keel, and so I said, okay, I can lead this energy in a better way. But it went very, very well, and it was nice, and I can't wait to bring a lot more people who are going to be a part of this transitional shift of our planet coming forward on CCN.
Mm-hmm. That's an amazing network too.
It's starting to get some gravitational pull. Yeah, it's everything takes a minute, but it is coming forward now.
Definitely. We just need this on the big box soon.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So well, yeah, I don't think that's probably never going to happen, but a lot more people are turning off the idiot box these days too.
Yeah, not paying $150 to their cable company.
Yeah, oh yeah, and then you're paying for them to bombard you with false propaganda.
I know.
Wow, that would make me a numbskull. Anyways, I'm not a numbskull. Anyways, I shut the idiot box off years ago. Now I do like a couple comedies every now and then, like a Big Bang. I love Big Bang Theory. That's the funniest show. They're the geekiest, goofiest. Make me laugh. I like to laugh.
Yeah. I mean, there's movies and stuff like that. It's just the other stuff, really, the news and the reality shows and things like that are toxic.
Oh yeah, Jersey Shore, all that crap. My daughters, they acted like that. I'd disown them.
Oh yeah.
I said, they're a good, bad example. That's what I said. I said, because they're just they're poisoned in their souls. I mean, they're just about the meism, and they're in conflict in a whole different way, and they're teaching that across the land to our children.
Yeah, we just have to be really present with our children, especially with the technology that's available in their hands. So. Yeah. Well, they act so different on a text or on an Instagram post than they are in real life. So it's.
Can you say changing your persona to fit the paradigm? See what I'm saying? I don't do that. I don't. How many? I talked to one gentleman, and he was going to the boneyard. It was the end of his life, and he volleyed up to me. He says, "You know what? I wish I could have been myself." He goes, I hid behind the mask my entire life. I never let myself be me. That's when you have regrets.
Mm-hmm.
I can always be me now. So it's beautiful. I don't have to live behind a facade.
Well, and a lot of our youth don't have the concept of this is a temporary vehicle. They put a lot of value on, the exterior, which keeps them from going inside,
Yeah. Well, see, as you can see, I'm superficial as hell. I got this body. But I'm being facetious when I say that. No, I believe you're supposed to take care of your machine, but it's not about putting myself on a pedestal. At 55 years old, all the guys on this planet, they should be looking like this because your machine's not supposed to be ready for the boneyard at 55.
The boneyard.
Yeah. Anyways, that because people have self-destructed their entire lives, drank, ate, and be married on all the wrong things. And then they go to the doctors, the idiots, the micromanaged medical construct, and they become a good customer. And then they give them poison so they can kill themselves even that much faster, or maybe that much slower. It's just nuts. It's an insane train that everybody's gotten stuck on. But it doesn't have to be like that. And I'm proof. Because my body was, I was catching hell in my 40s, sweetie. I mean, when I was 46, because I was drinking aspartame-laden soda pop. All my bones ached. Everything hurt. I had brain fog. Couldn't think straight. And then I said, you know what? And then I watched this movie called Sweet Misery. And then the minute I watched it, I knew exactly why I was having all those medical problems. And I stopped taking the excitotoxins and the aspartame. I quit. Got off within 90 days, my body started to rewrite itself. So you can refix the machine. So I like getting in touch with myself, and I know that didn't come out right, but when you lift weights and stuff like that, when you stretch your legs out, when you go for power walks, all the cells in your body are happy. You're clearing energy is what you're doing. So you can feel again. It's about feeling and getting in touch with yourself. It's not about grandstanding, being superficial, like all these kids who send off their selfies and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't live there, but I don't mind showing what I look like because I'm proud that I can take care of my machine. I can show others that they can take care of their machine too. Nobody has to become a victim to the construct. Everybody's got free will and a choice to make a change. The body's a resilient vehicle if you can switch it up. I don't know how many people have been on the cancer deathbed coming back home alive because they refixed it. But anyways, we all have free will, and we got to choose what we put in our. Hey, what you put in here, yeah, you got It's a waking act. I mean, what you put in your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always trying to, and I don't eat 100% correct, but I do a lot better. Yeah, this is my apple cider vinegar with water, Bragg's, all natural, good stuff, cleans you out. And yeah, matter of fact, we're about done here. It's about time almost to wrap it up. We got 3 minutes. Wow, this is a fast 2-hour ride.
Yes.
I told you this is the fastest ride on the planet.
Yeah, I believe you now. It was fun though.
Yeah, you get whiplash. It's good.
Yeah, I'm a little whiplashed, I think. But it's good.
Well, with the rest of my brothers on the planet and my brothers and sisters, we hope you enjoy this. We love you, and we do this from the heart. It's all about the heart. So this is a beautiful show that we got to put together so they can see what a real heart looks like on both ends of the equation. And this is the way the heart's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get to show my heart. When I get on these shows with the Jonah and Curtis, I'm not really talking about the heart. We're talking about the crap, and how to fix it and whatever. So I don't get to. You allowed me to get into my soft space today. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I try not to get teary-eyed, but you know what? It's where my heart lives.
Yeah, well, and vulnerability is where you connect with people. So.
Well, I'm so happy you came and shared with me at my house today. Yeah, and we're gonna make sure that we continue to bring this forward because we're where we need to be. We're in the right place, right time. It's all happening the way it's supposed to. It all unfolds. It's all manifesting the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
So, on that note, Biggie, I guess we are done here.